This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and today joining us, it is Geeks on Tour, better known as Mr. and Mrs. Jim and Chris Guld. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
It's great to have you on today, and I'm really looking forward to this because when I learned a little bit about you guys, it really was, I got to be honest, a little surprising because, it's not like you're in your 20s or 30s. You've been doing this for a while, and you're computer geeks, and you're a little bit older. Is it fair to say that?
You can say that, but Chris just turned 32 again.
Again? What's your secret, Chris? How do you do that?
Be bad at math.
Got it. I understand.
Yeah, we are definitely older than your standard geek, but it's because we started early.
Right,
Yeah.
But we are your standard RVer. We started a little bit younger than most, although a lot of younger people are starting these days, and we're starting in 2003 when we started full-timing RVing.
Yeah. Yeah, we are seeing a trend of younger people, millennials and, young folks really get into it and living that sort of alternative life. And, it's kind of interesting. They're getting out of brick and mortar and they're taking their lives on the road. And, of course, you're very familiar with that. As you said, you became full-timers in 2003.
It's a wonderful life.
A Wonderful Life, yeah. There's a movie, I think, named after. So let me ask you, now you're computer people, and you got into this early, I believe, Jim, unless I'm mistaken, 1978. You were doing all kinds of stuff with computers, writing programs and everything back before a home computer was like a real thing, right?
Well, actually, it was the first personal computers from Radio Shack. It was a TRS-80 Model 1. I got it in 1978, as you said. My family had a restaurant, and I knew that computers would help us in that. Mm-hmm. And they certainly did. I learned to program, and I got into it pretty heavily at a very early stage. When we sold the restaurant and moved to Florida in 1985, Chris had a computer training center that she started in 83 here in Fort Lauderdale. So she had a computer training center in 1983. I got to work for a company that built and sold computers, and she was a customer. So,
And as they say, is history.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Now you decide, well, let's share this information, let's share this knowledge, and take the act on the road, so to speak. So that's kind of what you do. You share your love of technology and your knowledge of technology with other folks who are fellow RVers, and maybe they're not even fellow RVers. You just take the act on the road.
That's what we do now, but it didn't start out that way. I started working for a company that set up Wi-Fi in RV parks, and we traveled around to the different RV parks, and I helped the staff and the guests understand what it was and what worked and what didn't. And then we were giving the presentations for the company at big RV rallies. The company got sold, and the Family Motor Coach Association asked us to do their seminars or technology seminars for them. So that's how it kind of grew, and it became a place where we traveled around to the RV rallies and gave seminars on technology as it changed, so we keep up with the technology. We started in computers, and now we're doing smartphones.
Yeah, we started with teaching Windows XP, and now, people ask a question about Windows, we basically say, what's that? I'm looking at Android or iOS now.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing because I think a lot of folks in sort of your demographic, if you will, tend to be somewhat frightened or they shy away from technology. I can only speak for some older relatives of mine, and I, we have to kind of coach them through. I'm no spring chicken myself, but I was right kind of at the very beginning, I think, of kind of video games. I was just in that right age bracket to kind of just catch on a little bit. But a lot of folks are not too thrilled about technology.
What we have found, Tom, is that RVers tend to be at a higher level technology-wise because they really find the technology so useful in the lifestyle.
Well, certainly, you've got the GPS and other things like that, getting you from place to place and mapping out where you're going to go. And of course, every year, these RVs become more and more sophisticated technology-wise. Eventually, they'll be driving themselves.
I hope so.
That would be nice, right? You just go in the back and hang out and play cards and have something to eat, and then the RV takes you where you programmed it, right? Wouldn't that be? That's probably not too far off, right?
It's probably not too far off. There'll be a lot of things that need to happen before then.
Yeah.
But it's coming.
We're living in an incredible age right now from a technology standpoint. I think once the chip kind of came in, it was just such a game changer. And you could speak with more authority than I ever could on something like that. But it just really catapulted things faster than ever, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, and everything is accelerating even more as we speak.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, but you know what? Isn't it cool that you guys are going to be around to see? I mean, I talk to my son all the time, and I say, man, wait till you're my age. It's who knows? Maybe we'll just vaporize in another place somewhere like they did on Star Trek. You just never know what's coming. People would have laughed at you years ago if you said that you can have the whole world at your fingertips on a device that fits into your palm. And of course, here it is. I mean, it's the great bet settler because you've got instant access to information. Everything you need. It's communication, it's movies, it's music, it's you name it. It's pretty amazing.
The RV Advisor podcast will return after these words.
The most experienced RV traveler knows it's important to expect the unexpected. Trust the RV Advisor Roadside Assistance Plan, starting at just $99 per year. It's the industry's most affordable plan and offers the most value compared to competitors, covering RVs, towed vehicles, personal vehicles, horse trailers, bike trailers, and more. Visit thervadvisor.com or call 833-229-0911. The RV Advisor Roadside Assistance Plan. Don't hit the road without it. We're speaking with Jim and Chris Guld. They are the Geeks on Tour. And their motto is, and I love this, teaching old dogs new tricks.
Right.
And what a great philosophy, because, of course, as we know, we've heard the opposites forever. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can, right?
Learning keeps you young.
And good looking.
Yeah. So when you go out on the road, what is the reception? I mean, I know that you're tremendously popular. Does this popularity, first of all, does it surprise you? And what's the feedback you get on the road?
It's interesting. It's all over the place. We travel around, and we've been doing this at big RV rallies, so we have some pretty large audiences as we travel through the RV world. And now we went out. We left August 14th, and we got back right at the beginning of November this year. Mm-hmm. So that was our tour this part of the year. And we'll be doing computer clubs and computer user groups. So our name is out there, but we still find a lot of people that have never heard of us and that don't know what we do. And it's interesting. It's always nice because there are always, we call them fresh meat.
Well, one of the more recent seminars you did was at Senior Planet in Colorado. Tell us a little bit about that.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, that was cool. So we do our seminars for RV rallies, computer clubs, and senior centers. Senior Planet we got to know in New York City. We've done a few seminars for them in New York City, and they are a senior center where just anybody in the community is welcome, mostly for free, to come in and take classes. They have ongoing classes and ongoing support systems at Senior Planet. It's a great thing. And when they learned that we were going to be out in Colorado for my annual Google conference that I go to, they said, "Oh, we have a Senior Planet just opening in Denver. Let's get you to speak there." So we did. And the main thing we teach about, if you're going to ask us to do one topic, that will be photos. Google Photos is my specialty.
Yeah, Chris is a platinum level product expert for Google. And every year, Google flies her to a conference. Last year, it was in Mountain View at the Google headquarters. This year,
oh, the campus, yeah.
It was pretty cool.
I'll bet. I understand that's just a spectacular facility, a campus. It's basically a city in itself. I have a very, very close friend who's sort of high up in the food chain there at Google, and he talks about, he works there and he just finds it absolutely amazing. So that had to be quite an experience, Chris.
Yeah, I very much enjoy it.
You actually wrote a book called Beginner's Guide to Picasa. Now, for those who don't know, I guess it's kind of discontinued, but there's still a lot of interest in Picasa, which is sort of it's an image organizer, I guess is the best way to describe it, with photos and different things. Do you still see a lot of interest in that?
I try not to, because it is discontinued. I try very hard to convince people to switch over to cloud-based photo organizing, which is Google Photos.
And
yes.
Chris wrote Beginner's Guide to Google Photos as well. And it's in its second edition, and it's available on Kindle and on Amazon bookstore.
I still use Picasa for a few things with photos on my computer.
Right.
But now my entire lifetime of photos is in the cloud with Google Photos. And it is so cool. You talk about having the world at your fingertips, in your pocket. Well, not just the whole world, but your world. I mean, if you want to talk about airplanes, for example, I can, using my phone, just search for airplane, and I can show you when I was a girl in Alaska, my dad had a float plane, and I have a photo of it at my fingertips wherever I am.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I just love. Photos is my thing.
Yeah, and they are the greatest storytellers. Of course, the old adage, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and my parents were shutterbugs back in the day when it meant something, and they boxes upon boxes of photographs. And it's wonderful to have them. And I want to digitize them all someday, because they're just some great, great photos from, going back to the, 20s and 30s even, when they were, children. And and of course later beyond that. And it's great to have photos to tell stories. But think about it. You had to lug scrapbooks full of photos if you wanted to show them to people. Now, all the photos in the world right there, right in your hand.
Yep.
Right. And if you want to see how we digitize our old family photos, we did one of our YouTube shows on it. We do a YouTube show called What Does This Button Do?
Right.
And they are all archived on our website at geeksontour.com, and you can just search through those and find the one called Photo Scan.
Geeksontour.com. That's the quickest place to find everything you folks do, which is terrific. And that's great. So it's geeksontour.com. So the videos are there, maybe some articles, different things, and probably I'm assuming that you tell folks where they can find you or see you next, right? Is your tour schedule on there?
Our calendar is online. Yes, there's a whole bunch of links right on our website for for our weekly class. That's the What Does This Button Do? And blogs and newsletters. We've been writing articles since, 2003.
Yeah.
and our personal blog is there. Tutorial videos and learning guides are all there. Our books are there. And it's a membership website, so a lot of stuff, especially the tutorial videos, nearly 600 of those are for members only, but all of the YouTube shows and the articles, those are all free.
I always like to ask people this when they come on the show. I live in such an amazing country, and 49 of the 50 states are accessible by RV. Where's your favorite place?
Yep, I knew that question was coming. There's so many.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we've been in every one of the lower 48, and most of them several times. And I have a photo. Guess what? Photos of every state sign. You know, whenever we cross a state line, we have to snap a photo.
Yes.
And I've made some slideshows out of that. But favorites, Colorado is pretty high up there.
Yeah, that comes up a lot. Colorado comes up a lot on this show. Yeah, Jim, go ahead. What's yours?
I think Utah. Well, Colorado is right up there.
Yeah.
But Utah has all of those national parks pretty much together near Moab, and it's really pretty spectacular. Mm-hmm. Arizona's nice. California's beautiful. Now, we do have a least favorite, but we won't talk about that now.
It's much easier to come up with a least favorite.
Oh, you're not going to beat up on Pennsylvania, are you?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's originally home for me, but no, there's actually some very, very beautiful spots in Pennsylvania.
That has been the most surprising thing, I think, that we go to a state that we figured, let's just, we're just going to get through this state.
Yeah.
And we found gorgeous Ohio. We spent a fair amount of time in Ohio this last fall, summer, and gorgeous state parks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, there's beauty, and there are good things to see and do every state we've been in.
Yeah. It's an amazingly diverse country geographically, topographically. It's got so much, and it's sadly, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to explore it the way they should, and it would be wonderful if they did, because there is just endless amounts to see and experience. So the fact that you're doing it, and you're actually helping people as well with technology knowledge, and boy, what a great thing you're doing.
Well, thanks.
We've ended up creating a pretty cool life for ourselves.
Yeah.
Now that we've turned in the big RV and we are no longer full-time, one of the things that has always been on my list is more international travel.
Yes.
So we went to Australia, New Zealand earlier this year, and we teach how to manage all your photos from international travel.
Yeah.
We did an RV in New Zealand for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not like, I know the water goes down the drain the opposite direction as it does in the northern hemisphere. You don't have to swipe pictures the other way to see them, do you? How does
to drive on the other side of the road, though?
Yes. Yeah. Let me ask you, that's got to take a little bit of mindfulness when you're doing that, right?
It takes a bit more concentration because, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the road.
No.
And, it is. It was interesting. I had driven before. I've driven a car in Ireland.
Yeah.
But it was a rental little car. It wasn't a big RV and ours was a fair size RV for over there. It wasn't just a van. We had a third person with us, so we had to have a larger RV. Mm-hmm. Not large by U.S. standards, but fairly large by New Zealand standards. It was good.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, tell folks one more time where the easiest access to Jim and Chris Guld.
We are Geeks on Tour, and that is our website, geeksontour.com. We also have a YouTube channel on Facebook and our personal travel blog, which is, other than pictures, it's my very favorite thing. but everything is on a menu somewhere on geeksontour.com.
Well, thank you so much to both of you. Really enjoyed it so much. Jim and Chris Guld, they are the Geeks on Tour. Geeksontour.com. Very simple. Thank you so much, folks.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom. Good talking with you.
Great talking with you. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the RV Advisor Podcast with Tom Alexander. This podcast is produced in association with Studio Alpha and Alexander Productions in Miami. Visit thervadvisor.com for more.